Uh, Good evening, everybody. Thank you for participating in the HBCU Connection today. I want to thank you all for your participation last week. I hope you got a lot out of that session. This session, we have another exciting school. I hope you all have the opportunity. We have Jackson State representing. I've also put the information that was shared to us today by the admissions counselor, Mr. Austin Rolfe, on the website. There's a QR code that you can go onto the website in order to fill out the application. You can scan the QR code and apply that way. If you have any additional information, I have his email address on the webpage as well, and he'll be sharing additional information for you during this session. In addition, we now have our group meet set up for all of you to be able to get further connected and identify when we're actually holding our meetings. It's always on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock, but I know some Eastern Standard Time. But I know some of you need additional reminders. So please go find us HBCU Connection on GroupMe. Put your phone number in and sign up, and we'll send you the links and other information that way. And as well, you can always find any sessions that you miss on our YouTube page. You can go on find us on Instagram, or you can email me and I can make sure that you get any information that you missed. So with that said, before we go, I want to highlight our scholarships for this week, and we can go in. Right now we have a couple that are coming up that are coming up that needs to be paid attention to. November 12th, which is next week. We have the Elks Most Valuable Student Scholarship. This one only applies to the high school seniors, but it's a good amount. 20 awards are for $30,000, 480 are for 4,000. The deadline for this one is November 12th. The information for the link is down at the bottom. Please make sure if you have any problems with filling it out, if you're stuck on what to write or what to help, that's what we're here for. Please contact me. We can walk through the scholarship and make sure that you get it in on time. The goal is to, as I've always stressed, is to apply for as many scholarships as possible. You're not going to get everything, but we're going to do what we can to make sure that you represent in your words, in yourself is represented how you want in those applications. So we have that one. Also, for November 12th, we have the Jack Kent Cook Foundation Scholarship. This one is also for high school seniors. This is a GPA required one. We were talking about the GPAs previously. GPA for this one is listed as 3.75 or above, but they give a considerable amount per year, 55,000 per year. The deadline for this is November 12th, and the link for that one is below. And in addition to this one, we have a couple. We only highlight a few scholarships for the presentation, but we have a whole list of scholarships for you to apply to on a web page. When you go to our web page, click on the resources tab. You'll see the scholarships availability link, and you can click on that, and you can get all the list of all of the scholarships that we have available. So please take advantage of that. In addition, I want to make sure that you have all, and I drive this every week, but you all have filled out the FAFSA. This goes out to your seniors. It's very important for you to understand the FAFSA is not just for those who feel they have financial need. It's also for to take advantage of a lot of scholarships that schools have to offer. And what you want to do when you apply to a lot of those scholarships, they're going to ask you, have you applied to FAFSA first? So you want to make sure that you have taken advantage of the FAFSA and you have applied and filled that out. I know some of you may have had problems with the FAFSA. I've added additional links. We have about 3 links that help you out from a YouTube that we put on our website for you for FAFSA. If you have any additional questions about that, or if you're stuck somewhere, do not hesitate. Please call me. As I explained, it's important for you to get the FAFSA in as soon as possible. The sooner the better. This is one that you don't want to wait until the end. You want to try to take advantage and get as much funding and applicable funding that would apply for you in the schools that you're selecting as soon as possible. So if you have any questions about that, please give me a call. So now that I've said that, I will get off the podium. I do want to bring in the admissions counselor, Mr. Austin Roth. He went, and this is an added bonus. He was an out of state student who ended up going to Jackson State. So so you can talk to him about what that experience is like. In addition, he's also will be attending Jackson State for his master's program as well. Um, so he's representing Jackson. I hope that everyone has had an opportunity to go and research and do this and do their own due diligence on what Jackson State has to provide. Without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to you, Mr. Austin. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Welcome for everybody who's tuned in, whether you're in the session or whether you're tuned in on any other platform. My name is Austin Rolfe. I am an undergraduate recruiter for Jackson State University, located in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm also an alum of Jackson State University as well. Whether you know about Jackson State or whether you haven't heard anything about Jackson State, I'm pretty much going to be your professional today. I'm here to provide as much information and detail about Jackson State University and everything that we have to offer for students that are tuned in to this platform. A little bit about Jackson State University. We are an HBCU. We are the largest HBCU within the state of Mississippi. We're located here in the capital of Mississippi, Jackson to be exact. We have over 7,000 students all across the country that attend Jackson State University. When I mean all across the country, I mean all across the country, and even internationally too. Whether it's the East Coast, the West Coast, whether it's up north, whether it's down south, there are students from everywhere you can imagine that come to Jackson State. They come for a number of different reasons. They come for a high quality academic experience. Here at Jackson State University, we have 5 academic colleges at Jackson State University. And within each of those 5 academic colleges, we have over 90 different degree programs and fields of study. So when it comes to some of our academic colleges, we have our College of Business. We have an amazing College of Business within the state of Mississippi. Whether you're interested in majoring in accounting, finance, marketing, business administration, business management, entrepreneurship, things like that. That's where you'll take a lot of your different courses within the College of Business. They do an amazing job of putting students in a position to where they'll be exposed to internships related within the business field. They even have their own career fairs located in the College of Business. We have a number of different career fairs that are hosted within and throughout the university, but I know the College of Business does an amazing job on their end. But that's just a little bit about the College of Business. We also have our College of Education and Human Development. A number of students from all across the country come for our education department. Whether you're looking to do early elementary, secondary education, higher education, early childhood, special education, counseling, things like that. A lot of students come to Jackson State for those aspects, whether it's on an undergraduate level or even on a master's and PhD level. Education is something that we value tremendously here at Jackson State. So we have a lot of students who want to give back and become educators to come and get their education here. We also have our College of Liberal Arts. So that's where you'll see a lot of our humanities, social sciences, criminal justice, communications, things like that, social work as well. You'll see a lot of those different majors within our College of Liberal Arts. We have our College of Health Science. So if you're interested within those health and wellness type majors, communicative disorders and things of that nature, you'll take a lot of your courses within the College of Health Science. And then last but certainly not least, we have our College of Science, Engineering, and Technology, also known as our CSET department. That is arguably our top program that we have to offer at Jackson State, simply because we have a number of different students throughout the country that come and attend for that program. Engineering specifically is our top program here. Here at Jackson State, we have civil engineering, we have electrical engineering, and we have mechanical engineering. So for those who are interested in engineering, we do offer that. And even when we're looking on the other aspects of STEM, when it comes to our natural sciences, we have an amazing biology program that has a different amount of emphasis within it. We have a number of students that come for biology pre-medicine, biology pre-nursing, pre-physical therapy, pre-dental, pre-veterinarian, things like that, pre-chemistry as well. We even have computer science as well at Jackson State University, as well as mathematics and industrial technologies. So those just dive into some of the opportunities that we have on a majors perspective. And if you even want to check out some of our different majors that we have to offer at Jackson State, you can also go to our website at jsums.edu. That'll also have a link that'll take you to our different majors that we offer in programs as well. That's a little bit on the academic perspective of Jackson State. Students also come for a number of different extracurricular opportunities and activities that we have taking place here. How I like to describe our campus, we are a very fun campus. We have over 60 different clubs and organizations here at Jackson State. I put that in perspective for students simply because it's literally impossible to be born here. We're a very fun school to attend. There's literally a club for everything. So, if you're looking to be involved here at Jackson State, that is most definitely an opportunity that you can take into effect here at Jackson State. We have student government here. Student government plays a very vital role within the campus culture here at Jackson State. Within our SGA, it's made up of our SGA president. We have Mr. Jackson State. We have Miss Jackson State. Fun fact, my time at Jackson State, I served as the seventh Mr. Jackson State. And that was an amazing role that I served under. I traveled a lot. I basically served as a student liaison, and I served as a representation for not only the university but for all the students throughout Jackson as well. So that was a good experience for me. We also have students that serve under our campus activity board. Basically, those students coordinate a lot of the fun and engaging events that take place throughout our campus. You might see videos of our high school days. You might see videos of our homecoming concerts. We might have a number of different events take place during our homecoming week. Our campus activity board puts those together, things like that. As well as a lot of like our different senates throughout Jackson State, throughout our student government, things like that. We even have fraternities and sororities here at Jackson State University. We have our Divine Nine here at Jackson State. The Divine Nine is composed of our Black fraternities and sororities. We have all 9 of the Divine Nine here at Jackson State. Myself, I pledged here at Jackson State University. I crossed Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. So all my young men listening over the Zoom call, make sure y'all do some research on this. We would love for y'all to be a part. But side note, it's those organizations build a tremendous culture here at Jackson State. Those are student leaders here at Jackson State University. Those are people who excel in all aspects when it comes to scholarship, brotherhood, sisterhood, community service, all those type of things. Those are really amazing organizations to be a part of as well. We even have a lot of other different type of clubs here at Jackson State. For example, we have cooking clubs. We have anime clubs. We have clubs for those who like to play board games. I know when I was at Jackson State, I loved to play spades. We even had a spades club here. The list of different clubs and organizations that we have on Jackson State's campus is endless. We have a lot of different engaging things to be a part of. But ultimately, students come to Jackson State to be a part of a high quality powerhouse HBCU. Because here at Jackson State, we see ourselves as the standard among all HBCUs. That's something that we pride ourselves heavily on. I don't know what it is, but the culture here at Jackson State is simply unmatched compared to a number of different HBCUs you come across. And not even just HBCUs, but just universities in general. A little bit of background of me. I'm originally from Little Rock, Arkansas. That's about 4 hours away from Jackson State. And I remember being a senior in high school. And originally, I didn't want to go to Jackson State at first. Originally, when I was a senior in high school, I was interested in going to Morehouse College. I was accepted into Morehouse and everything. I used to go to high school with my Morehouse sweatshirt on. I used to tell everybody, man, I'm going to Morehouse. Yeah, y'all can catch me in Atlanta. I used to be that guy, with the Morehouse jacket on. And then I took a look into the tuition, and it was just a little too high for me to pay for. And so I just remember going all the way back to square one, not knowing where I wanted to go to school. So it was around April. And I remember just sitting in the kitchen. I was talking to my mother at the time, and I was telling her, I don't know where I want to go to school. I don't know. I just know I don't want to stay in Arkansas. I don't want to go nowhere too far from home, nowhere too close. I want to go to an HBCU that just feels like home. And she told me, she said, have you ever thought about Jackson State? And I said, what is that? I had no idea what Jackson State was. I didn't hear anything about the sonic boom of the South. I didn't know anything. I never been to Mississippi a day in my life. She said it's a HBCU located in Mississippi. It's about 4 hours from where we live. We can take a drive up there. If you like it, we'll look into applying. If not, we'll just look into another school. I said, okay, that sounds like a good idea. So we drove 4 hours to Jackson, Mississippi. We took a tour of the campus. We met with a number of different students, staff, faculty, and I instantly fell in love with it. I instantly fell in love with it. I told her, I said, we don't even have to look into applying anywhere else. This is where I want to go. I'll put in the application today. That's exactly what I did. Got accepted, and the rest was history. I attended Jackson State through all 4 years of college, and it was the best decision I made in my life. And um, also to just reemphasize as well, when I tell you Jackson State has students from everywhere you can imagine, we're not just a school that is built up of Mississippi students. We're not just a school that's composed of students from Delaware. We're not just students that's composed of students from Arkansas. We're students from all across the country. Um, and it's cool because it makes us so diverse. Students come with what they enjoy doing from back home and they bring it to Mississippi. And so everybody just has a good time. It's really cool. I love it. Um, Also, for those who are listening, if we have any seniors that are interested in applying to Jackson State University, we most definitely have that opportunity present for you. That QR code is up. The application is up. It's a really through that QR code. It's a really fast application. The application probably takes about 5 minutes to do. Um, Once you submit that application, what you'll have to do next is just submit your transcript. And once you submit your transcript, and when we receive that transcript, then that's when we'll be able to give you an admissions decision. As far as the admissions process, the general requirements are very accessible for students. All we require for students to have is a 2.5 GPA, and you just need to have all of your high school core credits, such as math, science, English, and history. We don't require an ACT or an SAT. We are a test optional university, so you're not required to submit a test. The only instance where you'll have to submit a test score is if you're looking to apply for one of our academic scholarships that we provide for students as well. We provide a number of different academic scholarships for students. And I emphasize the word academics because this falls in the lines of your grade point average, as well as your test scores. Um, we have a number of different academic scholarships, whether you're talking about our presidential scholarships, whether you're talking about our provost scholarships. We even have scholarships that we have for transfer students as well, first time freshmen, things like that. We have a number of different scholarships that are made available. You can find those on our website as well. Within each of those scholarships, they'll show you basically how you can apply, as well as the criteria of exactly what qualifications you'll need to have in order to access that application, access that scholarship. You have to have both the GPA requirement and the ACT or SAT requirement. Students always ask me all the time, can I have this but not this? Or can I have the GPA but not worry about the ACT? No, you need to have both in order to qualify for scholarships. Um, a good point was made earlier about FAFSA. When it comes to the deadline at Jackson State University, the priority deadline for your FAFSA submission is April the 15th. It's always best to handle all that paperwork early, sooner than later. But as far as the FAFSA deadline, ours is April the 15th. Um, and make sure you all hop on that sooner than later. And also to kind of piggyback on scholarships, if you're a student who is looking to acquire scholarships, but say you might not qualify for any of our full ride scholarships, or if you are looking for other ways to help get school paid for, there are a number of other different opportunities that we have available for students to acquire scholarships. We even have developmental scholarships that are available on our website as well. Sometimes you might have to write an essay. I know sometimes when it comes to our developmental scholarships, you don't have to submit a test score. Um, we even have different scholarships that are made available for students once they come on campus. I can give a pretty good example as well when it comes to that topic, because I remember being a student I first came to Jackson State. I didn't come with a full ride scholarship. I came with some scholarships from back home, some little scholarships, that added up to help cover some costs, but I didn't come with a full ride or anything. However, I was able to graduate from Jackson State debt free. Um, because sometimes when it comes to the organizations that you might join or certain departments, they'll be able to give you scholarship money and help pay for school. For example, I know my junior year of college, I was an RA. For those who don't know what an RA is, that is a resident assistant. I tell students all the time, if that is an opportunity that's made aware and present to you, take that opportunity. Most definitely. Parents that are listening, make sure you let your student know looking to be an RA, because it's a pretty easy and rewarding job as well. You basically work within the residence hall, probably about 4 hours throughout the day. You check students in, you check students out. If somebody's locked in, let them in their room, things like that. They pay for a different amount of fees when it comes to your tuition and things like that. They'll cover your housing, they'll cover your meal plan, and they'll even give you a stipend. And I was an RA for my entire junior year, so that covered exceptional amount of costs when it came to my college career. And also, um, kind of to piggyback, remember when I said I was Mr. Jackson State University, me being in that position alone, they covered my housing, they covered my meal plan, and they covered a large amount of my tuition. And so, I remember being that freshman in college who had a balance, trying to figure out ways to get scholarships, to being a senior in college and looking at my balance and seeing it was at zero, you know. So I was able to graduate college debt free. So there are opportunities that are made present for students. We even have work study opportunities as well for students. Um, whether you're looking to work in the department building, whether you're looking to work in the cafeteria, whether we have students, for example, I know students who work in the library and who work in the game rooms, things like that. And you can choose whether or not you want those to be, well, you can choose whether or not you would like to be compensated either within your personal pocket or have that money go towards your balance and tuition. That's most definitely your preference, but those opportunities are most definitely available. Um, so yeah, most definitely look into that if you're interested in applying. Even to also piggyback on a number of our different extracurricular opportunities. Jack State's, we're known for a number of different things. I'll probably say what we're most popular for at the moment. We're popular for two things. One, we have the greatest band in the country, the Sonic Boom of the South. If you don't know, you better call somebody. They're here. They are taking the nation by storm. They're always on the road. We were just recently in Vegas this past weekend. Um, not this past week, but the weekend before. We played against Grambling State University in Vegas, and they put on a show. Um, and they're doing amazing. We also currently have our football team. They're the current defending HBCU national champions. So out of all the HBCUs in the country, we have the number one ranked HBCU football team. So they're doing a lot of great things. We're looking to do it again this football season as well. So most definitely. But that's just a little bit about my spiel about Jackson State and the things that we have to offer for students such as yourselves. I'm opening the floor for any questions, whether it's through the chat box or whether anyone would like to come off mute. I'm pretty much able to answer any question.
Mr. Austin, I'd love for you to talk about your experience as far as getting adjusted to coming in as a freshman in the Jackson State. Are there any programs that the students can take advantage of that will help them get acclimated to college life as kind of a bridge program or other avenues or opportunities of support that the school offers that you can highlight?
That's a great question. So we have organizations that are dedicated towards helping bridging that life after high school to the transition of college. We most definitely have a number of organizations. I know um, my experience in particularly, um, I've seen students who became a part of an organization called Blue Ambassadors and Blue Street. Blue Streak was basically a mentoring program for upperclassmen to mentor incoming freshmen. Um, and unfortunately, I was not a part of it. I wish I would have been because I talked to students who were a part of it and their experience was amazing. But you basically get one-on-one mentoring. They pair you with an upperclassman, and you'll pretty much be able to talk to that upperclassman. They do it strategically. They won't just pair you with anybody. They'll pair you with an upperclassman who might have a similar major as you, who might be from the same city as you, who might have the same interest as you. So they do it very strategically when it comes into pairing you with a mentor. And that's a really good opportunity to take advantage of as well because they'll help you get very acclimated to the university. I know my personal experience, the first organization that I joined on campus, there's an organization on campus called Men of Excellence, also known as MOX. That is specifically dedicated for our young men who are looking to, get a better feel of college and how to conduct themselves in college and things of that nature. It was a good organization for me to join because not only was I able to help, not only was it able to help me build connections and network, but it also taught me how to conduct myself while I'm in college. Do's and don'ts, things like that. And even I throughout my years, I even became the president of the so there's a lot of different opportunities and things like that. Your first week if you choose to enroll in the Jackson State, you'll first have our welcome week. The welcome week is going to be a full week dedicated for those first time freshmen. That'll be before classes start. You'll move in, and that whole week is dedicated for you to get to know everybody who's a first time freshman. It's dedicated for you to get familiar with the university. You'll be able to walk around, see exactly which building is what. You'll be able to learn a lot of the things that we have to offer on our Jackson State's culture, things like that. So,
You also talked about the many academic opportunities that Jackson State has to offer. Could you elaborate more on the class sizes, the teacher student ratio, as well as the additional support as far as tutoring and being able to work with the teachers for those courses that may be challenges for some students, and how that will help them, how they can get additional help in order to help with their matriculation?
that's a great question. So, when it comes to the different resources and things that we offer for students here at Jackson State on the academic level, it's limitless. Whatever you're interested in majoring in, we make sure that we provide a substantial amount of assistance for students. When it comes into resources, the first thing that I always think about is our Richard Wright Center. That's a center that we have within our library that's dedicated to give students the assistance needed when it comes to essay writing. Um, if you're taking a class and you have an essay that you have to complete, and say you're not the best when it comes to writing essays, you're struggling, you need some assistance, you need some help, you can go into the library and go into the Richard Wright Center, and they'll be able to provide you with assistance and essay tutoring. And it's free of charge. So there's no cost in getting that tutoring as well. We even have resources within our library for those who might need technology assistance. We have a full computer lab in our library as well. So whether or not, say if you don't have a laptop, whether if your laptop is broken or something was to happen to you can always go into the library and access our computer lounge. We even have printers in there as well, so you'll be able to print in there free of charge as well. Um, and even within each department, whether it's the College of Business, College of Education, CSED, Health Science, Education, liberal arts, wherever, I know each department building has their own select resource center when it comes to tutoring as well. Speaking from a personal standpoint, when I was at Jackson State, I majored in business. I was a marketing major. We have a center called our CAP Center. They provide tutoring. They provide mock interviews. So, say if you're preparing for an interview, a job interview, whether it's for an internship or a full-time job, you'll be able to get a mock interview with a real corporate business professional and they'll be able to give you critiques. We have computer lounges in there. And like I said previously, we have a number of different resources when it comes to tutoring. And that's pretty much accessible for any student, and also within each department. That was the first part. What was the second part of that question again?
So just the class sizes and the just the accessibility of the teachers and in tutoring programs that that's helping students that may come in with challenges and not able to even if they feel they aren't able to keep up at the time. What can you do to help?
Yeah, so when it comes to Jackson State University, the student teacher ratio, I'll say it's about 15 to 1.
Hmm.
Our university, we're not a humongous university.
Right.
We're not one of those universities where you have to take a bus just to get to class. I'll probably say the farthest you have to walk is probably a 10-minute walk. Um, and we're not one of those universities where you walk into class and it's about 100 to 150 people in the classroom. Not that big. I'll probably say even throughout my time at Jackson State, the largest amount of people that's been within a class setting is probably between 20 to 25. And that's a really great thing because not only are you able to build a connection with your peers within the classroom, but you're also able to build a connection with your professors as well. That way they'll be able to help. They'll be able to help provide additional assistance, and tutoring, and resources to you outside of the class setting as well. It's really cool. Teachers here and professors here and doctors here are always able to help. There isn't a student here that we won't help. That's something that we really pride ourselves heavily on. When it comes to education, we want to make sure there's something we can do to put students in the position to where they're on track to graduate. You will have to work. I tell students all the time when it comes into college, it's easy if you make it easy, meaning that if you put in the work and if you're able to prioritize and handle everything that you're supposed to do academically, it comes easy. So I always tell students all the time when you come to college, make sure you put your academics at a priority and make sure you build a connection with your professors and your doctors as well. That way they'll be able to give you as much assistance as well. And when it even comes to tutoring as well and different type of resources, say if you're a student that might be struggling and if you need a little bit of additional assistance, our dean's office within each college and professors' doors are always open for students who need assistance. They're always open to those who need assistance. I was one of those students that needed assistance in one class. I remember when I was a business major at Jackson State, I took business stats. And that was a class that I was struggling with from the time I started the class to almost to the time I finished the class. I was struggling with. But I was happy that I didn't go and attend a class that was humongous. We were a very personable class. It was probably about 15 people at most. So, I was able to build connections with the students who were within the classroom, and I was able to build connections with the professor as well. I would talk to the professor before class. I would talk to the professor after class. Before class, I'd come in there probably about 30 minutes before the classroom started. And I would, kind of go through a little run through with the professor to make sure I was doing everything right before, we took a test or before we got into our lecture, things like that. And then also, building a connection with your peers is very important because, we all used to meet up and take classes together, study together. We'd all go into the library, we'd have study sessions. And, not only does that help build a connection within the classroom, but it builds a connection outside of the classroom. I love it.
Well, let me ask you before would you say you were this were you this aggressive with being forthcoming and talking to teachers and professors before Jackson State, or would you say that's something that you developed by your relationship with your teachers and what you've acquired being at Jackson State?
Oh, that's most definitely something that I developed here at Jackson.
Hmm.
Being a high school student, I was one of those students where if I didn't know it, I would just try to figure it out on my own. And I remember coming to Jackson it's not going to work that way. If you need help, the help is going to be here, but you have to communicate. And whether you might be a student that is, aggressive when it comes to communicating, or whether you're a student that might be a little bit shy and a little bit anxious, the opportunity is still going to be there for you. And I tell students all the time, because I come across a number of different students throughout the country, and we have a lot of students who might be anxious and going into Jackson State or even going to college in general. And I'll tell them all the time, by the time you graduate from Jackson State, you are going to be the most friendliest person and the most communicated person ever, because you're going to be surrounded by a lot of well-spoken people who are very family oriented, whether it's your classmates, whether it's your professors. There's going to be a lot of family oriented people here that are going to help bring you out your shell and who are going to encourage you to ask those questions and to want those resources that are made available for you.
You talked a lot about the interview, about the interview programs that they have, the pre-interviews to get the students ready for being able to handle real life job interviews. We talked earlier about the fact that you are going to be you're getting your master's from Jackson as well, looking at the PhD program. How do you feel that Jackson? Well, this is also another two-part question. One, how do you feel that Jackson prepares you for that work world? And if you want to matriculate into that next chapter of your education for getting your master's education and or PhD, how easy is it to do that through Jackson State?
So it's very accessible for students. No matter what you choose to major, no matter what you choose to do, it's very accessible. I remember when I first graduated from Jackson State, working in education was not on my bingo card. I had no intentions originally. I originally worked in the banking field, fresh from undergrad. I didn't really like it too much, but then I remember I received a phone call um, from the Department of Undergraduate Admissions. And they were looking to, bring me in to come recruit. And I was a little bit anxious at first because I didn't necessarily know how I would do. I didn't know if I might enjoy it or not. But I said, I'll try it out. And, throughout my first couple of weeks and months, I really enjoyed it. And I eventually built a passion within recruitment and within higher education. And, I remember I was just sitting down one day and I was like, I really like what I do. Um, I really enjoy what I do. I have an uncle. He lives in Houston. He works within higher education. He doesn't work within recruitment, but he works in higher education. And I remember I drove down to Houston and me and him, we were eating dinner, we were talking. And I asked him, I said, what I'm doing right now in recruitment, is this a good career to pursue right now if I'm looking to do higher education farther on down the line? And he told me this is the best thing you could do if you're looking to pursue higher education. Because a lot of people who work in education, whether you are, a recruiter, whether you're a administrator, whether you work in an executive cabinet, anything on the collegiate level, a lot of people started off within undergraduate recruiting, you know. And so when he told me that out, that just fueled a fire inside of me to, keep going. Um, and I asked him, I said, what would be a good next step? Get into a good master's program, whether it's at your university or another university. If you want to keep it straight HBCU, that's perfectly fine. If you would want to branch out and go to any other university, it's perfectly fine. Keep going and getting that higher education. Um, whether you're looking to do a master's in education, that's fine. Whether you're looking to do a master's in business administration, that's fine. But just make sure it correlates and aligns with exactly what you're looking to pursue as a full career when you get older. But for those who are interested, say if you go to Jackson State and when you graduate, and if you're looking to get higher education, whether it's a master's program, a doctoral program, those are most definitely accessible for students. Most definitely. We have a lot of students that come from master's programs um, who have graduated from Jackson State with their bachelor's. We have a lot of people who come within our psychology department. We have students who come for our master's in business administration and accounting. We have students that come And even when it comes to our master's program, we have an online master's program as well here at Jackson State. So we make it very accessible, and the same resources that we provide on an undergraduate level, we provide those as well on the master's and the PhD.
Thank you. Here at the HBCU Connection, we don't want to monopolize the time. We leave the door open. So this portion is always interactive. Are there any other questions out there? Does anyone else have any other questions at this time?
Yeah, I have one. I guess it's kind of like a two-part. So when you say I'm a freshman coming in and I'm not sure what I'm major in, what I want to major in, how can I be exposed to a few different things so I can understand what I may want to major in? And if, second part, and if I do come in with, say, oh, I want to be a chemistry major, but then I decide, oh, I actually want to be uh I don't know, like a English major. Is that an easy transition or not necessarily easy? Is it doable? Because I feel like some people feel like they're stuck in one thing once they choose it.
So we have students who come here all the time within their first year who might not exactly know what they want to do off that. Whether we have students who come, they might major in engineering, but they not like might not like it too much, but they might look at students who participate in like the College of Business and they might want to check that out. And they might go over there. That's most definitely made available. Um, I I will be completely transparent. I tell students all the time, if you're looking to change your major, do it sooner than later. Simply because when it comes to the average matriculation for students who go through college, the typical amount is 4 years. Um, Students who normally tend to change their major, they'll change their major within the first 2 years. Anything after those first 2 years, it can make complications to your matriculation. Because college is not only time, but college is money. So we want to make sure we're at a rate where we're not wasting time or money. But I always tell students all the time to really figure out what you're passionate in. Um, because I like I said, I talk to students all across the country, and I feel like we come across a lot of different students who chase the money, but don't necessarily chase what they're passionate about. I pretty much anybody can answer this question. You would hate to have a job that that you just hate. Whether they play good or not, you would hate to go wake up and go to a job that you just can't stand. But I tell students all the time, figure out what you're passionate about, figure out what your passion is, and see what exactly the college you might be interested in going to has a line on a major standpoint to where they can help put you in that position to where you'll be able to get into that field you're looking to do. Because when you chase your passion, the money will follow, and so for example, say if you come to Jackson State and you major in English, but you might not like it right off bat. You took a semester worth of English courses and you just don't like it and you want to try something new. That is most definitely made available for you, but it's just always best to have an idea of what you're looking to do sooner than later, because you would hate to be a senior in college and looking to change a major. Because you will have to take some coursework, and you will have to take a number of different classes, depending on what major you're looking to change.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay. Before we get off the stage, Mr. Roth, I always like to use this moment here as a highlight for Jackson State. I got this one last question for you to get off the stage. If you can sum it up, one big summary in one sentence, why Jackson State?
Why Jackson State? If you're looking to be a part of the greatest HBCU on the planet, we always tell students Jackson State I love Jackson State is the place where you need to be. We are known for challenging minds and changing lives. We're known for putting students in the position to where they can achieve anything they dream of. whether it's outside of high school, outside of college, and so on and so forth. This is the place where dreams are made. This is the place where you're able to grow. You're able to learn a lot, do a lot, experience a lot. I went to Jackson State. I have no regrets. This is the best decision I made in my life. I cannot explain it any other way. I love Jackson State University.
I love it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you and your time. We look forward to having kids contact you if they have any additional questions about Jackson State. Your information will be on our webpage. We'll send it out to the students. Anybody, if anyone has any questions, if anyone decides to apply and want to let Mr. Roth know that, hey, I applied, is there anything, any pointers, any way that you can help me with additional understanding the additional scholarship routes and other opportunities, reach out to me or you can reach out to Mr. Roth directly, and we can and we'll get you in touch with him and set that up so that you can learn more and get prepared for your matriculation at Jackson State. We would love to have the opportunity to invite you back again next semester and continue this discussion. We'll just continue to grow from there.
Sounds great. We'll be more than happy to come back. And like you said, if there's any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. I always tell students all the time, email is always going to be the best, simply because I'm always on the road. But I'm happy to respond to any email that I receive. No question is a dumb question. Feel free to ask any type of question, because we'll be happy to provide more detailed information about what all we have to offer.
Yes. Thank you for that. For all the students online, remember, I can't stress enough, it's November. It's now November 4th. FAFSA, FAFSA, FAFSA. Our goal is to make sure that all of you have applied to FAFSA before the end of this year. You heard Mr. Roth explain that the scholarship opportunities and other things may be available out to April, but you don't want to wait until the end. It's important for you to take advantage, get things and get this out of the way, because there's a little bit of information here that you have to walk through with your parents to fill out. And so we want to make sure that we are able to, one, support all of you and have enough time to support all of you within the time frame. And so just it's just important that you go and sign up and get that taken care of right away. And if there are any questions, there's no, as stated earlier, there's no dumb question. If it's just one little thing that you don't understand, don't hesitate to call. We're readily available for you. So with that said, I'd like to thank everybody for participating today. Mr. Roth, thank you again, representing Jackson State. I loved it. I think that Jackson, Mississippi is a great place. Jackson State University is a great school. Please take advantage. If you haven't had the opportunity, go on the website, do further research. They cover a lot of schools. A lot of academic choices if you have options, from engineering to business to education. So the opportunities are out there for the schools for you to matriculate in. So please take advantage. And with that, we'll let you go. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for your participation. And we'll look forward to having you again next week. Thank you.
My pleasure.